This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and now that I've said that out loud, I wonder what I'm in for tonight. Last Night in Soho is a newish British psychological horror thriller from director Edgar Wright, following the events which befall Eloise, a young woman passionate for the 1960s who moves to London to study fashion design. Taking up residence in an old apartment to avoid the nightlife of the dorms, Ellie finds that in her sleep she has seemingly lucid dreams about a woman from the 60s named Sandy, who comes to London to pursue a singing career. As time goes on and the dreams continue, Ellie learns of the tragedies in Sandy's life, and Ellie herself begins to lose a grip on reality as her dreams and the ghosts of the past begin to haunt her waking life, pushing Ellie to learn the truth about what happened to Sandy. The structure and pacing of the plot is very well handled here, with a rather classical amount of foreshadowing and foreboding within scenes that avoid revealing any major secrets too early. There's also a nice balance between Sandy's story as Ellie experiences it and Ellie's own changes as her lucid dreams come to inspire her schoolwork, with a clear and ever-growing shift in Ellie's behavior and appearance as the visions she sees begin to affect her life more and more. The story is light on substance outside of this primary descent, with other characters in Ellie's life being a bit simpler in their roles and less developed, more in service to Ellie or Sandy's own story, and less having their own individual arcs. Thankfully, Ellie and Sandy's stories and the parallels between the two are quite more than enough to satiate the audience. If anything else, Last Night in Soho thrives in its imagery, paying tribute to Italian giallo horror aesthetics, though not so much in actual splatter, but more in imagery, presenting the film in a very stylized manner, with a heavy emphasis on color and lighting. It makes for a clear difference between Ellie's reality and Sandy's world, the latter being lit with harsh, bright lighting and large swaths of solid colors, with its very presence being a visual symbol of Ellie entering this dream world, or the ghosts entering hers. It's an artistic design that almost literally begins to bleed into her reality as the dreams become all too real, giving these later scenes further visual stylings that make her state of mind explicit. Editing is also helpful in illustrating this, primarily in fast cuts and quick shots that emphasize chaos or confusion, both within Ellie's initial reactions to London nightlife and in the later scenes of terror. The movie is actually pretty bloodless for the most part, with more focus on the psychological aspect and presenting a rather classic sort of horror story, while paying tribute to the pasts of both horror films and the culture of London. Last Night in Soho combines the two to show the seediness beneath the surface and how the traumas of that time can have lasting effects into the present day, or something like that. Last Night in Soho, Edgar Wright, 2021. 4 stars. I'd recommend giving it a watch. That's it for me. If you like this review, leave it a like. If you have something to add, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews in the future. I only really know Edgar Wright from his comedic work, so it's interesting to see something from him outside of the genre.